The sleek alien vessel emerged from hyperspace near Jupiter's orbit, its dark hull reflecting the distant sunlight. Earth's defense fleet had been tracking the approaching ship for days through their quantum detection grid. The massive EDF Sentinel, Earth's flagship, held position at the front of the defensive formation. Admiral Li Jinwu stood on the Sentinel's bridge, his weathered hands clasped behind his back. The bridge crew worked in focused silence, monitoring their stations. Through the main viewport, he studied the alien ship's unusual design, smooth curves blending into sharp angles, unlike anything humans had built. "Alien vessel is holding position, Admiral," reported Lieutenant Kim. "They're making no aggressive moves." "Good. Keep our weapons powered down but shields at maximum," Li ordered. Years of military experience had taught him to hope for peace while preparing for conflict. The alien ship suddenly transmitted a signal. To everyone's shock, a human voice came through the communication system. "This is Commander Park Hyrie of the Galactic Empire scout vessel Starseeker, requesting diplomatic contact." A murmur of surprise rippled through the bridge. Li leaned forward. "A human? Working for them?" "Correct, Admiral." Commander Park responded. "I joined the Empire centuries ago when they first discovered human colonies in the Centauri system. Time dilation and Empire medical technology have kept me alive. I'm here to facilitate first contact between Earth and the Empire." Li exchanged glances with Earth's ambassador, Kim Ta-won, who had been quietly observing. The ambassador nodded. "Open a visual channel," Li commanded. The main screen activated, showing Commander Park. She appeared to be in her 40s, but her eyes held the weight of centuries. She wore an elaborate uniform of deep purple and gold, marked with alien symbols of rank. "Welcome home, Commander Park," Ambassador Kim said, stepping forward. "Though I suspect your loyalty now lies elsewhere." Park smiled sadly. "Earth will always be humanity's cradle, Ambassador, but the Empire is vast and powerful. They've unified thousands of species under one banner of peace and progress. They wish to extend an invitation for Earth to join them." "And if we decline?" Li asked quietly. "The Empire is persistent in their vision of unity," Park replied carefully. "They believe all advanced species should be part of their civilization." Ambassador Kim's expression hardened. "Then let me be clear, Commander. Relay this message to your Empire. Earth welcomes peaceful contact and trade. We are willing to discuss cultural exchange and scientific cooperation, but we will not be forced or coerced into submission." He paused, making sure to lock eyes with Park. "We are peaceful, but if pushed to war, we show no mercy. This is not a threat. It is simply what we are, a species that has survived countless conflicts, that has learned to wage war with terrible efficiency. We do not want war, but we will not shy from it." Park's face paled slightly. "You don't understand the Empire's power, Ambassador. Their technology, their resources." "No, Commander," Li interrupted. "You don't understand Earth. We've already detected 3 more Empire ships hiding behind Saturn's rings. Your weapons technology is impressive, but not insurmountable. We could have destroyed all of you the moment you arrived. Instead, we're talking. Remember that." Park stared at them in silence for a long moment. Finally, she nodded slowly. "I will convey your message to the Imperial Council, but I urge you to reconsider your position. The Empire does not take rejection well." "Neither do we, Commander," Ambassador Kim replied calmly. "Neither do we." The communication ended, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Earth had given its warning. Now they could only wait to see if the Empire would heed it. Title: The Assessment: Imperial Arrogance. In the gleaming crystal spires of the Empire's capital on Nexus Prime, General Song Minho stood before the massive holographic display of Earth. The blue planet rotated slowly, surrounded by data streams showing military assessments and cultural analyses. "Primitive," he scoffed, waving his hand through the hologram. "Their ships still use basic fusion drives. The general's ornate uniform sparkled with medals from 100 bloodless victories, campaigns where worlds simply surrendered at the sight of imperial might. Colonel Yoon Ji-hai entered the strategy chamber, her boots clicking against the polished floor. "General, I have the historical analysis you requested." She projected a new set of images. Earth's wars, conflicts spanning centuries. "Look at this chaos," Song said, zooming in on various battles. World War I, World War II, Cold War, regional conflicts. They can't even maintain peace among their own species. How can they possibly stand against the Empire? "Sir," Yoon hesitated, "that might be precisely what makes them dangerous. They've developed their military technology through actual combat, not simulated warfare like us." "Nonsense," Song laughed. "Their weapons are crude. Their tactics are basic. They don't even have proper energy shields yet." Intelligence Officer Kang Do-hyun rushed into the chamber, clutching a data crystal. "General, urgent report." His usually neat uniform was disheveled, suggesting he'd run all the way there. "What is it now, Kang?" Song asked irritably. "Sir, our deep scan analysis shows Earth's technological progress is unprecedented." Kang inserted the crystal, displaying a new set of charts. "They've advanced from primitive combustion engines to quantum computing in just 3 centuries. Our predictive models suggest they're on the verge of several major breakthroughs." Colonel Yoon studied the data with growing concern. "Their adaptation rate is remarkable. They've already reversed engineered some of our scanning technology just from detecting our scout ships." "Irrelevant," Song dismissed, closing the holographic displays with a wave. "The Empire has conquered species far more advanced than these humans. Their warning is empty posturing." "But sir," Kang persisted, "there's something else. We've detected unusual energy signatures around Earth. They're masking something, possibly weapons platforms or defense systems we can't identify." "Then they're hiding their weakness," Song declared confidently. "The Empire's might is absolute. We've ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. These humans will learn their place, just like all the others." Yoon and Kang exchanged worried glances. They'd seen this arrogance before, but something felt different this time. The humans' warning hadn't been delivered with fear or bravado, just cold certainty. "General," Yoon tried one last time, "perhaps we should conduct more thorough research before." "Enough," Song thundered. "Prepare the diplomatic corps to deliver our terms. Earth will join the Empire, willingly or not. That's an order." As the general stormed out, Kang turned to Yoon. "They're making a mistake, aren't they?" Yoon watched Earth's hologram slowly rotating in the chamber center. "Yes," she said quietly, "and I fear it will cost the Empire dearly." Outside the chamber's windows, the capital's endless cityscape stretched to the horizon, its citizens blissfully unaware that their leader's arrogance might soon shatter 10 millennia of peace. The warning Earth had given them echoed unheeded through the halls of power. "We are peaceful, but if pushed to war, we show no mercy." Title: The Awakening. Empire's Realization. Strategic Master Lee Min-seo stood frozen before the War Council, watching the holographic replay of humanity's latest attack. The Empire's most fortified planetary defense system had fallen in hours, not to overwhelming force, but to tactics they'd never imagined possible. "Play it again," he ordered, his voice barely a whisper. The scene repeated, human ships appearing seemingly from nowhere, using the Empire's own automated defense satellites against their cities. They hadn't even fired a shot. They'd simply redirected the defensive grid's targeting systems. Major Kim Da-hai stepped forward, her psychological warfare report projecting beside the battle footage. "The humans don't follow any predictable pattern," she explained. "They adapt constantly. When we defend against one tactic, they've already developed 3 new ones." The council chamber fell silent as they watched another recording. Human soldiers using personal teleporters to bypass security systems, Imperial troops surrendering en masse after targeted information warfare, and civilian infrastructure transformed into devastating weapons within hours. "How?" asked one council member. "How did we misread them so badly?" Research Director Ba Jun-ho cleared his throat. "We found something disturbing." He displayed a new hologram showing standard Imperial terraforming equipment. The humans didn't just reverse engineer our technology. They weaponized it in ways we never considered. They turned atmospheric processors into planet-wide EMP devices. Soil enrichment systems became molecular disassemblers. Lee Min-seo watched the evidence of their failure multiply on screen. "They warned us," he said quietly. "They told us they show no mercy in war, and we didn't listen." "There's more," Major Kim continued. "Their psychological tactics are unique. They don't just fight the enemy in front of them. They fight the idea of the enemy. Every defeat we suffer isn't just a military loss. It's a carefully orchestrated demonstration to shatter our belief in Imperial invincibility." New footage played. Imperial soldiers watching their impenetrable shields fail. Civilian populations losing faith in the Empire's protection. Entire systems requesting Earth's protection after witnessing human military efficiency. "Their message is always the same," Ba added. "They offered peace. We chose war. Everything that follows is our responsibility." Lee Min-seo turned to face the council. "We're not fighting a war against a primitive species," he declared. "We're fighting an enemy that turned warfare into an art form through millennia of fighting themselves. They don't just want to defeat us. They want to ensure we never consider war with them again." "Can we still win?" someone asked. "Win?" Lee laughed bitterly. "They're not even using their most advanced weapons yet. Everything we've seen, the tactics, the adapted technology, the psychological warfare, it's all been done with technology we can understand. They're sending a message. This is just the beginning." The council chamber grew darker as more battle reports flooded in. The mighty Empire, undefeated for 10,000 years, was learning a harsh lesson about humanity's warning. They had dismissed it as the boast of a primitive species. Now they understood. It hadn't been a boast at all. It had been a mercy. Title: The Escalation, Empire's Last Stand. Grand Admiral Park Sung-min stood on the bridge of the Imperial flagship Eternal Glory, watching as 10,000 warships assembled for the Empire's final push against Earth. The largest fleet ever gathered in Imperial history filled the space around Nexus Prime. "All ships report ready, Admiral," his aide announced. "The fleet awaits your command." Park nodded grimly. "Send the message. No mercy, no surrender. Earth must fall." The Empire's reputation hung by a thread after months of humiliating defeats. This assault would decide everything. The massive fleet jumped into hyperspace, emerging near Earth's solar system. But instead of finding Earth's defense fleet, they faced emptiness. "Where are they?" Park demanded. "Our intelligence said their fleet was." Suddenly, alarms blared across every ship. Commander Oh Se-jin's face appeared on all communication channels, her expression calm. "Admiral Park, you were warned. The Empire chose war. Now face the consequences." Small objects appeared around the Imperial fleet, thousands of them. Before Park could order evasive action, the objects activated. Space itself seemed to tear apart as antimatter cascades ripped through his formations. Impossible. Park watched helplessly as hundreds of ships vanished in the quantum fire. How did they? New threats emerged. Swarms of autonomous battle drones, each no bigger than a fighter, attacked with perfect coordination. They didn't target ships randomly. They struck with surgical precision, disabling engines, weapons, and command centers. "Admiral," his tactical officer shouted. "The drones, they're using our own command codes. They're turning our automated systems against us." Park watched in horror as his own ships began firing on each other, their computer systems hijacked by Earth's cyber warfare. The mighty Imperial fleet, pride of 10,000 years, fell into chaos within minutes. On dozens of Imperial colony worlds, Governor Ryu He-jun and other leaders watched the battle through quantum feeds. They saw their invincible fleet shattered by an enemy that had offered peace first. "Send the message," Ryu ordered his staff. "Tell Earth we surrender. Tell them we choose peace." Back in the battle, Admiral Park slumped in his command chair as reports of surrendering worlds flooded in. Earth had destroyed not just his fleet, but the very idea of imperial power. Commander O appeared on his screen again. "Admiral, power down your remaining ships. This war can end now, if you choose." Looking at his ruined fleet, Park finally understood the weight of Earth's initial warning. They hadn't been threatening the Empire. They'd been trying to save it from its own arrogance. "All ships," he transmitted, his voice heavy with defeat, "stand down. The Empire—" He paused, the words bitter in his mouth. "The Empire surrenders." The antimatter cascade ceased. The drones withdrew. Earth's actual fleet finally appeared. They'd been waiting in reserve, watching their automated weapons do what Imperial commanders had thought impossible. The Empire's last great fleet hung broken in space, a testament to humanity's warning. "We are peaceful, but if pushed to war, we show no mercy." Title: The Breaking Point. Empire Falls. Admiral Nam Jia stared at the classified reports from Earth's latest victories. In her private quarters aboard the Imperial Command Station, she made the decision that would change history. "Send the message to all loyal commanders," she ordered her staff. "The High Command has lost its mind. We must end this war before humanity ends us." Across Imperial space, her message spread like wildfire. Military units began turning against the hardline leaders who wanted to continue the hopeless fight. The Empire's iron grip was crumbling from within. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin led his stealth team through the shadows of the Empire's most secure facility on Nexus Prime. They moved like ghosts, their advanced cloaking technology making them invisible even to Imperial sensors. "Security systems accessed," his tech specialist whispered. "Just like the others. They never imagined someone could get this close." Within hours, the facility's defenses turned inward. Automated turrets targeted Imperial guards. Shield generators protected the rebels instead of stopping them. The Empire's own technology became its worst enemy. "This is how Earth fights," Choi explained to surrendering Imperial officers. "We could have bombed you from orbit. Instead, we're giving you a chance to choose peace." In the Centauri colonies, Representative Quan Minji addressed the Colonial Council. The chamber was packed with delegates from worlds that had once been proud Imperial territories. "Look at what the Empire has brought us," she declared, displaying footage of the devastating defeats. "They ignored Earth's warning. They chose pride over peace. Now look at what Earth offers: true independence, fair trade, mutual defense." The vote was unanimous. The Centauri colonies, once the Empire's most valuable territory, pledged allegiance to Earth. Other systems quickly followed. Back on Nexus Prime, Admiral Nam's forces surrounded the Imperial Palace. Inside, the hardline leaders who had dismissed Earth's warning faced their final moments of power. "You fools," Nam addressed them through the palace communications. "Earth tried to prevent this. They offered peace until you forced them to show their true strength." The palace fell without a shot fired. Earth's infiltration teams had already disabled every weapon, every defense, every escape route. The Empire's leadership surrendered not to overwhelming force, but to the helplessness they had inflicted on so many others. As Imperial worlds declared independence one by one, humanity's warning echoed through the galaxy. They had never wanted war, but when pushed, they had shown exactly why they should never have been provoked. The mighty Empire hadn't been destroyed by Earth's weapons. It had been broken by its own arrogance, torn apart by the very people it had claimed to rule, all because it had ignored a simple warning from a planet it had underestimated. Title: New Order, A New Dawn. The Geneva complex gleamed in the morning sun as leaders from across the galaxy gathered for the historic peace signing. Emperor Lee Dong-hyuk, once ruler of 1,000 systems, now stood before Earth's representatives as an equal, not a conqueror. Inside the Grand Hall, holographic displays showed the ceremony to trillions across former Imperial space. Earth's defense minister, Park Jin-young, stood at the central podium, her military uniform decorated not with medals of war, but symbols of peace. "Today marks not an ending, but a beginning," Park announced. "Earth never wanted dominion over the stars. We wanted only to be left in peace, and to ensure peace for all." Emperor Lee stepped forward to sign the treaty. His hands trembled slightly as he lifted the ceremonial pen. Behind him, Kim Soo-ho, the last surviving member of the Imperial Council, watched with a mixture of shame and relief. "The terms are simple," Park continued. "All worlds may govern themselves. Trade will be free and fair. The new Galactic Defense Force will protect all member worlds equally. And most importantly, no more wars of conquest." The new defense protocols appeared on screens throughout the hall. They were straightforward. Any aggression against member worlds would be met with unified response. The protocols emphasized defense, diplomacy, and de-escalation, backed by the implicit understanding of humanity's military capabilities. Kim Soo-ho stepped forward to speak. "We thought we were bringing order to the galaxy. Instead, we brought fear and oppression. Earth showed us a better way, not through conquest, but through choice." As the treaty was signed, a new era began. The former Empire's worlds weren't subjected to harsh penalties or revenge. Instead, they were invited to join a cooperative alliance, with Earth serving not as rulers, but as guardians. "Remember this day," Park concluded. "Remember that Earth gave one warning, offered one chance for peace. Remember that when that warning was ignored, we demonstrated why it should have been heeded. And remember that even in victory, we choose peace." The ceremony ended with a gesture that spoke louder than words. Earth's military ships, the most powerful ever seen, began powering down their weapons. They would remain vigilant, but their guns would be silent, until and unless someone else forgot humanity's warning. In the years that followed, the galaxy would flourish under the new order. Trade, culture, and science advanced without the shadow of imperial conquest. And if any ambitious power ever considered military expansion, they needed only to remember how quickly Earth had humbled the greatest empire in history. The one warning had been enough. Peace, true peace, had finally come to the stars.